Well, today we're going to talk about two functions in Excel. It's Sumif or Sumifs. You really need to know both of them so deeply, or you need to know both of them at all? Let's check that in this example. I am Marcos Rodello and I'm here to guide you through Microsoft Excel universe, solving issues and adding lots of improvement in your skills in Microsoft Excel. You can join us here, click the subscription button, and let's check this example right now. I have a very simple table here with some cities and some dates and products and measures and amount. Okay, I need to make the sum, okay, the sum of this amount by city and by product. So right now, if you have some little knowledge about it, you're thinking about a Sumifs, okay, Sumifs function. Because Sumifs, it can really use more than one criteria, So if you start a Sumifs in here, Sumifs, you have the sum range as the first argument, and you have the criteria range 1 and the criteria. You can work with multiple criteria here, and that's what we're going to show, okay? You can also make a conclusion right now that the Sumif function will work with only one criteria. Okay, that's well known by most users, but there's a main difference here that I'm going to show you very soon. So follow up what we're going to do here. Sumifs, my sum range, it's the amount. That's what I really want to sum. So I'm going to select all this range here, okay? F2 to F31, and we're going to lock it, okay? Using F4 shortcut, F4. There you go, it's locked, okay? You can also use names if you have the knowledge how to use names. You can work with it, but right now we're using just F4 to lock those references, okay? I'll introduce here the dot, comma. It's what I use here in my computer to separate the arguments. You have to check in your system if you use dot, comma or only comma, okay? To separate those arguments, right? I'm going to select right now the city range, so I'll click in A2 until A13, and we're going to lock that reference as well, pressing F4. F4 shortcut, OK. Separating again the argument. So I want to sum everything there is in F2 to F31. When in A2 to A31, I find the city St. John. That's the reference, okay? You have to find in A2 to A31 St. John, and we're going to separate again. So make that sum when you find in this place this data, this criteria. Next, product. I'm going to select now the product range. So I'll select D2 until D31, and I'm going to lock that too with F4. It's locked. Now we're going to separate, and I want to make that sum. When you find, when the Excel find in this range the information that it is in H2, and when find in this range the information that it is in E2. Oh, sorry, here, E2. I know that the formula is really in front of the product, and it makes a bit confusing. That's because my data, my information in this cell, it's centralized, okay? Look the difference. I'll press enter, and right now the alignment, it's center. I'll change it to the left. When I change to left and I click, you see that doesn't goes over the product anymore. It's more organized for you to analyze your formula, your function with the table. Okay, so now I have the 2887. I'll center it because if you're not using the formula, it's better to see that way. I prefer it at least. And I'll drag it here. Okay, let me make a sum, a total, to check it if it's right. So when I sum, I have 6591, and here I have also the same number, 6591. Okay, it's perfect, it's working. Great. So let's see now how SUMIF will work in here. Okay, let's see how SUMIF will work. Equals to SUMIF. Range. It starts showing me range. It doesn't say if it is a criteria range, if it is a sum range. It gives me not a hint. I have to guess, or I have to read the arguments. So I have range, I have criteria, and I have sum range. Oh, if the third argument is sum range, it means that the first one just can be a criteria range. So if I want to sum the amount using products, by products, so I'll select products. It's D2 until 31, D2 until D31. I'll lock it with F4 shortcut, and I'll separate the arguments using dot, comma. Check in your system if you're using dot, comma. It doesn't mean you'll have to put a dot, comma in your system. Maybe, probably, it's likely that it's for you to use with comma, okay? Just check in your system how it's the character that will separate those arguments. So D2 until D31. What's my criteria? Okay, the criteria, it's product. Right now it's cookies. That I find it in the L2 cell. So when you find in D2 to D31 the information that there is in L2, it will make the sum of the range, the amount here, F2 to F31. F2 to F31, I'll lock it, okay, with F4 shortcut. It's locked, and now I'll close here and we'll press enter. Okay, enter. 6283. So let me check it here, and I'll sell here, and I'll select here and here, and in the status bar it shows 6283. Okay, it's working perfectly. If I drag that down and make the total, here you go. To make this total, I use the shortcut Alt equals. Okay, it shows me the sum automatically. It's very easy to use that shortcut. So we see that some ifs use lots of arguments. We see that some if use only one argument. And now I'm going to talk to you a very important thing. Imagine in your day-by-day works, you're developing your projects, and you are working with Sumif in one worksheet and Sumifs in other worksheet, and you have to remember, oh, but this one starts with the sum range first, or the criteria range first, which one I'm going to use, and it can make you a bit crazy, okay? So what's my suggestion? It's a humble suggestion. I just want you to think about it. If SUMIF makes the sum range in the end, and SUMIFs use the sum range in the beginning, check the logic of it. SUMIFs, it sums first, and then you have criteria, range criteria, range criteria, and so on and on and on and on and on. Okay, it's some good logic. I like that. But in here, you start differently, and the sum range, it's in the end. So you have to think, if you will start with sum or the end will sum, you'll look to the arguments and you will really get a clue of what to do. But why has Microsoft created both functions? Well, Sumifs, it's sum with multiple criterias and also with one single criteria. So my suggestion for you, if I could help you somehow, it's forget about Sumif. Forget about it. You don't need it. Anything you need can be accomplished by using Sumifs. And you don't have to keep attention for the arguments. If it starts with a sum range, if it ends with a sum range, focus. Make a standard thing. You know, Sumifs, it's what you want. You start always with a sum range, and then you go criteria range, criteria for everything you need. Okay, it can make the Sumif work, and it can make much more than this. So that's what I would like to give to you, that knowledge, that suggestion for you to escape this confusion things between Sumif and Sumifs and make a standard thing. Sumifs is what you want. Okay, hug Sumifs. That's what we really want. I'm a Sumifs guy. Really, Sumifs is everything you need. Forget about Sumif. I don't like him. He's not reliable. Okay? Just kidding, guys. So if you enjoy that, if I helped you somehow, you make the subscription now in the channel, you click that button and follow up us here every week. We have new quality content for you. So see you in the next class.